Yes, sir. Da-da-da. Oh, you got the good stuff going there.
Yeah,
quality beer. Good beer.
Yeah, it's really
Oh,
beer.
I wish I was in Philly.
That's not far away.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. 2, 3, 4. And hello, everybody. Welcome to week 5 of Big Pick 4, the show where the gurus, Brother Brian and Dan, Big Dan, will give the best 4 picks for tomorrow's Sunday NFL games, which includes the 2 combined picks, followed by the Big D guarantee and the Big B guarantee. Fellas, any opening remarks for week 5?
Yeah, I guess the only opening remark is that we won 4-0 for the first time all year.
Yeah, that was good.
Congratulations. I know we weren't able to air that show last week, but we did put those picks in the vault prior to the start of the game, so that pretty well evens us up on the season. So that will bring us to looking at the recap where we're at right now. Can you guys see the overall picks? So the bottom line is, folks, we are at the 500 mark going into week 5 of the season. Okay, all right. Still showing as recording. Oh, I see my video. I gotta figure out how to do my camera. Yeah, so we're going into week 5. We're evened up. Hopefully these guys have spent the week honing their skills. Up on the upside of some of these picks, I do want to mention that they are picking the spread, which of course is more of a challenge. Secondly, we are using odds from BetUS.com, which are odds that you can actually bet on as a listener. If you use Vegas odds, like some of the competing shows like RealPick4.com, loser, and you can't bet on those odds.
Hey, I got
so.
Hey, Scott,
we're up in the game. We're using the tough odds, which are from BetUS.com.
Hey, Scott,
so,
can I cut you off for a sec?
Yeah.
Speaking of our competition, Real Pick 4, apparently I was bait. Apparently there's an office-wide bet that I had to cancel for various reasons. That's another story. But apparently there was a bet that I couldn't do 30 push-ups in 3 or 4 minutes, right?
5 minutes.
Whatever. And apparently Ryan was going to use footage. Ryan was going to tape it and put it on his website. So I want to just say, Ryan, a ha-ha to Ryan, a big F-U, because now for his next show, he doesn't have any footage of me trying to do push-ups. So I just want to give a big F-U to our competition, Real Pick 4, that now he's going to have to find something else for a video.
So is this what you were when Ryan asked you if you could do? I think what I heard was he actually told you he thought you could do it, and then you responded.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah! No, I had a bet with another guy in the office to do 30 push-ups in 5 minutes. Okay, and Ryan was gonna. I didn't know this until Dan actually just told me that Ryan and Ed's the guy I had to bet with, because this was gonna be in a park. We were gonna go out into a park, and I was gonna do 30 push-ups. But apparently, Ed was going to videotape it and give it to Ryan to put on his website. So that his plan has been snubbed because I'm smarter than Ryan.
I don't know about that. I don't think so. Ryan, I think you get the nod in the smart department.
Was that 5 minutes or 5 hours?
It depends what planet you're on. It's 5 minutes in Mars time. I could be like 3 days.
All right, so moving into going into the 500 mark, week 5. The format is the 2 combined picks. Dan will kick off with the first pick. Let's have it, Dan.
What Dan has to do is
with my Badge of the Week award, and
oh, my bad. We start off the show every week with the Badge of the Week presented by Dan.
That's right.
Let's have it, Dan.
Well, we have our first repeat winner of the season here in after 4 weeks, and our repeat winner is Mark Sanchez, who had who was crying about fumbling during this Sunday night game, which I think he committed 3 or 4 turnovers himself. And he had Rex Ryan call timeout to challenge a supposed fumble. He said he threw the ball. He didn't. He fumbled, and the Ravens scored a touchdown. The referee confirmed it on the replay. Then Rex Ryan waved him over to the sideline so he could yell at him, and so Mark Sanchez could cry and say, "Oh, I was throwing the ball. It wasn't a fumble. I was throwing the ball." He went on and jumping up and down like a little kid who was frustrated that he wasn't getting a cookie. So he is our first repeat Badge of the Week winner, and he is now the front runner for the Badge of the Year award, which will be handed out in our Super Bowl show.
In our Super Bowl show,
yes. So congratulations, Mark Sanchez. You did it.
Yes, bravo.
Yes. That's right.
We kind of predicted that he might be one of the front runners of this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's there crying. The guy already reviewed it. What do you want?
Hey, Scott, what do we have the Vegas odds for Sanchez winning Dan's Badge of the Year? Was it 3-1 right now? What's the Vegas odds?
I would say so.
All right, talking about Mark Sanchez.
Speaking of Mark Sanchez,
is included our first pick, our first.
No way to roll into it, Dan.
That's right.
Good job.
Oh, nice segue. Very professional.
Pick is the New York Jets, versus the New England Patriots at New England. The Jets are. New England's favored to win, -7.5. So the Jets are +7.5. The road team in this series is 18-7-1 against the spread in the last 26 matchups. So I believe that this is going to be a close game, and that New England will win, but the Jets will stay within a touchdown in this game because the New England defense is terrible. They're missing 2 starters. Patrick Chung is out. They're starting safety. Gerard Mayo is out. He's a starting middle linebacker. And this is a rivalry game. And even though the Jets have been really bad lately, and several key players on the defense are out, Cromartie's been awful opposite Revis, and the opposing offense has really picked on them. However, Rex Ryan always seems to have a good plan against Brady, and I expect this game to be close. As I said, the road team seems to do very well against the spread in the last 5 years or so, whatever it is, 13 years in this series. So I would bet on the Jets to lose, but New England will not cover the spread in this game.
So coming off of 2 terrible games of Sanchez, and everyone beginning to question whether or not Sanchez is the franchise quarterback, and as opposed to the crybaby.
Yeah. Yes.
And keeping in mind, last season when Rex buried that ball after the regular season New England game, that wouldn't have helped your even being an underdog. That was a blowout. So you're not predicting a blowout here.
No, I'm not. New England's defense isn't good enough. Their defense is terrible, and they can make a bad offensive team look pretty decent. So I expect the Jets to stay within a touchdown in this game, just because New England's defense is good enough. Their offense is good. But the Jets defense, I think, has some pride. They already played terribly last week. And the week before, they've been really embarrassed. Now, I understand they're without a couple of linebackers, but they're not the most key players on their team. That guy from Temple, what's his name? Muhammad has played really good on the defensive line. So I expect them to play with some pride here. This is their biggest rival. I'm sure Rex Ryan has a whole plan. He's probably planned for months for this game. I'm sure they're going to break out some trick plays and some other stuff. So I expect a good effort. As again, I think they're going to lose, but I believe they'll maintain New England will not cover the spread. It will be a closer game. make a 5-6 point game.
I was driving by M&T Bank this week, and I was really thinking about buying some flowers and laying them on the sidewalk in front of M&T Bank at the Jets Memorial for the season. I really thought that they pretty much died, killed their season.
Scott, they're only 2-2, man. It's
I know. Yeah, right.
Dude,
yeah, but I mean, a Monday night blowout on a national stage like that.
It was a pretty bad game.
What do you mean? That Baltimore should be used to it. The Orioles have been awful for about 20 years.
All right, so we have the Jets as the underdog, picked by Dan as a combined pick. Let's have the combined pick number 2 with Brother Brian.
First, before I get into my combined pick, I have to do a speech, and Dan's shaking his head because he knows what's going to happen. Me and Dan both work at a law firm, so we know how to play the game. I found a loophole. Earlier on, I said I want to emphasize. I want to emphasize I said I would never bet against the Eagles. My next pick is against the Eagles, but it's combined. So I have found a loophole in the system, okay? Yeah. I am taking Buffalo +3 at home versus Philly.
Yeah, but I will say this, is that Philly can still win. And and you still win the bet, right?
Well, what bet?
If you pick Buffalo and Philly wins by 1 or 2, then you win the bet. That's and true, Philly wins, right?
True. But Brian has some excellent reasons why he was not going to win.
Me and Dan talked about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I agree with this pick, by the way. So, if anyone in particular...
we have a shout-out to... before I go on with this pick, there's a guy that sits next to Dan at work. His name is Steve Hinkle. He gets on me and Dan when we pick against the Eagles. But I just want to say that to winning, sometimes you pick what you think is going to happen, and sometimes it is against your own team, and that happens. It doesn't mean I don't want the Eagles to win, but in this scenario, I feel strong. Me and Dan feel strong. The Bills are going to win, and if Steve Hinkle's watching out there, he can suck it.
We have to look at things from a realistic perspective. And I think you'll lay it out for the audience exactly how this is going to work.
I think the first thing is injuries. We don't usually start a pick-off with discussing injuries.
Sounds like an Andy Reid press conference.
Injuries. Injuries. Jason Peters, the starting All-Pro left tackle, is out for 3 weeks. Trent Cole, the All-Pro defensive end, is out for 3 weeks. Antoine Dixon, their starting D tackle, is out for the whole year. Those are huge losses. That's just to start off. Those are very big losses to the Eagles team. I also my next note that my next star that I have here is that the Eagles are 30th against the run, and Buffalo is 7th. Their rushing offense is 7th in the league. Also the Buffalo defense has 8 interceptions this year, which is tied for first in the league. And everyone wants to kill the Buffalo defense. They're not ranked very well. They're getting up a lot of points, a lot of yards, but they also they cause a lot of turnovers. And Michael Vick has been turning the ball over a lot. I do think it's going to be a higher scoring game. It could be 34-28 Buffalo, but I think Buffalo is going to win the game, or it could be even 31-28. I think Buffalo's going to win the game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I mean, the Eagles' defense is just atrocious. Their linebackers are horrible. Their safeties are non-existent. I've never seen worse tacklers than safeties ever.
How about Osweiler?
I'm going to make his corners aren't
supposed to be
safety.
Tackler too.
Well, corners aren't notoriously known. Like Deion Sanders is a horrible tackler, but your safeties are supposed to be able to tackle and hit somebody. Me and Dan were talking about this. The Eagles have not had one hard hit all year in 4 games. Not one player from that team has hit anybody in the mouth. I think they're soft on defense. Their offense is good, so I think it's going to be a close game. But I think the Bills are going to score more points, and I think the Eagles need to do a whole revamp of their defense. They got to figure something out because except for the front four has played well. But the linebackers and the secondary is atrocious, and I'm going to use that word. They're just atrocious.
Fire Juan Castillo.
Yeah, we should start the website Fire Juan Castillo.